Samaran, guys. There's a post. Yes, I'm Iso now, part of a Thug Life. Tupac, let's go. Anyway, there's a post that has been making rounds on social media and it got sent to me. And I actually wanted to read it to you and I wanted to unpack. Osis bethu. Santanda, guys. Santanda, ne? Look for the post, but it's an ish osis bethu. So, Monica wrote, majority of women are jealous of us who were born in 2000s. Yeah? I say so because I'm 18, turning 19 next year. But a majority of men can't resist me. So the lady who's writing this post is 18, turning 19. Majority of old women who are above 25 don't have what it takes to attract a man. You know, that's why they're full of bitterness, she writes. They hate the fact that we can easily break their marriages. Married men are regretting marrying them. I've dated married men so far who all they do is complain about their wives. If you check, women who complain a lot about marriage are old women above 25. How can a man love you? She asked the question. You don't have what it takes to make him happy. I've interacted with married men and they are not happy. Majority are begging me to be their wife. Yeah, Monica Ona 18. Obviously, when you read that, if you're a female and you listen to it, obviously you're going to be quite annoyed. She's talking about the fact that old women, as she puts it, are jealous of her and people who are born 2000 2K, you know. She's saying that she can easily snatch your man. She was saying, Guti, she can easily break up your marriage and men can't resist her or Ama 2K. And, you know, I think what needs to happen is that post you getting annoyed at the comment like this, post you saying, oh, shame, she's still young and dumb. It's actually, are there any truths in what she's saying? You know, are there any truths that these 18-year-olds or these 2Ks are picking up about older brothers and older sisters that we can learn from as said older brothers, older sisters? You know, she was saying majority of men can't resist me. Guys, if we're talking about just a general 2K, and I'm talking about a 2K, a person who's 23, 22, not 18, which is borderline, you know, generally men are attracted to younger girls, you know, just from a physical point. You know, we have to be honest, you know, a body of an average 35-year-old person, male and female, does not look the same as it looked like 15 years ago when those people were 20, you know. So again, we both, men and women alike, start physically deteriorating, or not deteriorating, but as we get older, generally speaking, you know. So again, there are sisters who get more beautiful with age. I'm talking again physically, and there are brothers who tend to age well with age. But generally speaking, when I look at a lot of my peers, guys in their mid-30s, they've got bellies, they've got this, they've got things that they didn't have when they were 22 years old, 21 years old. You know, so will a majority of men be physically attracted to younger women? Of course. Of course, from a physical point, 100%. What concerns me is her post or her comment saying that she's dated many married men. Usis is only 18 and she's been with multiple married men. You know, married men aren't being with these younger girls just for them to talk about the latest TikTok trends. Married men are not linking up with these girls to find out how first year is going at the university. Married men are linking up with these young girls as a form of escapism from their everyday struggles, their everyday stresses, their everyday pressures. So what do? They want to act out their dirtiest sexual fantasies. They want to go and be a place where they can be praised, where they can be worshipped by younger, maybe in certain cases, more impressionable people. So again, the fact that she's so young, having been with multiple married men, is just a bit of a concern. And again, if this was a person in my space, in my world, I'd be like, Siswam, rather don't go down that route. You might regret it with time. Married men being unhappy. Yeah, there's a lot. That's why the divorce rate is so high. Marriage is not easy on both sides, being man and woman. It's not an easy thing to do. So yes, a lot of married men are very unhappy. Divorce rates are crazy high. A lot of it has to do with we haven't been trained into understanding what marriage is. We don't know what to look for in a marriage. We don't know how to act in a marriage. I made a whole video around that. For men, it's such a hard sell, selling marriage to us in today's time. Why can't I just be your life partner and love you? If I'm not heavily traditional, if I'm not heavily religious, why should I get married? I can just love you and we can be life partners and we can invest in properties and we can have beautiful babies. A lot of people are choosing to go down that route versus this marriage illusion or myth that we've been sold. Because again, from a general feeling, when women get married, it elevates their social status. When women get married, she then is in a space where she can get, at least to an extent, looked after. When a man gets married, he knows what he now has to add extra responsibilities in his life. So the advantages tend to side with Tusisi, who is getting married, versus the guy. So it's such a hard sell. And I think a lot of guys that get into marriage, after a couple of years, they start saying, but what am I getting in marriage that I wasn't getting before? What am I getting in marriage? And then they start resenting. But that doesn't benefit me. But it doesn't benefit me. What was the whole aim? And then they get miserable, In terms of chasing after young girls, married men, single men, guys in just standard relationships, a lot of guys chase younger girls. A lot of guys chase younger girls because maybe younger girls are easy to manipulate. Maybe younger girls are more naive. Or maybe a lot of them just like the fact that younger girls physically tend to be more attractive in, let's say, their earlier 20s than in their mid 30s. So that might also be a preference that many guys have. But here's another point, and this is one that I want to hammer home. Sisters, you guys are bitter. You guys are jealous of younger women. I've seen this time and time again. It's disgusting. When I go into a social setting, let's say we're having a braai, when I see younger guys, when I see older guys, as men, black men, we have a level of respect. Otherwise, okay, no sharp. There's a hierarchy and a level of respect. If I'm hosting a braai in my home and there's a group of boys in their earlier 20s, they're gonna come into my home. They will make sure they give respect to the eldest person in the space and then treat everybody accordingly. I've been to braais when I see younger women come through. Younger girls don't greet older girls. They don't. Younger girls sit and they cross their legs and they sip on whatever they're sipping on, and they watch the older girls who might be chopping in the kitchen or who might be prepping this and that. And the older girls look at the younger girls with attitude. Yes, there are a lot of older sisters who mentor younger girls, but that's few and far between. Tina as guys, when we see Guti, hey, that girl's a bit of a hoe, your boys tend to come and whisper, hey. People as guys, we always tend to have each other's backs, whereas our sisters are constantly competing. Is it maybe how society trained you guys that you must compete for a limited resource, which is a good man, and good men are very rare and limited. Do you then start competing with each other? But I've seen it time and time again where the older ladies tend to be very bitter. The younger ladies tend to be very rude and disrespectful. So you've got two things. Younger girls being rude and disrespectful, older girls tending to be bitter towards each other. That thing, boss, it needs to stop. Singathi ngashaya sisters conference and understand ukuthi you guys need to come together and aid each other and assist each other and mentor each other, so that we don't repeat any negative cycles that happens. Anyway, keep going with what this lady Monica. So I said she's dated a lot of people, blah 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 blah. And then she speaks about how older women don't know how to make men happy or married men happy. Another triggering thing, if when I was 20, the way that I would treat a 30-year-old female versus my age mate or another 20-year-old female would be very different, you know. So again, Penson at age 20 spoke with a lot of respect to my peers, the other 20-year-old females. However, when she was 30, it would be usis bongile or usis ngobile or usis banban. I would always go out of my way to show the level of respect. You know, if I'm 20 and I walk into a 30-year-old's home, whatever, I'd always come with that humility, you know, verse with my peers. You know, if I am 20 and I see a 20-year-old lady do something silly and let's say has a little falls a little bit, doesn't get too injured, I'd laugh. However, when I was 20 and I'd see a 35-year-old female or a 40-year-old female, I wouldn't be as, you know, I'd try and be more clever. Even if I laugh, I'd laugh inside. I see it at work. You know, I'm 34 years old. When I talk work now to a 23-year-old, 24-year-old, female or male, they speak to me in a certain way. Whether they know me or not, in terms of my hierarchy or my title at work, when I'm speaking to a 24 or 25-year-old man or woman, they speak to me with a level of respect. However, when I speak to my age mate, it becomes more informal. You know, there's no real hierarchy per se, unless the titles now come into play. And if I'm looking at it from a relationship point, men love respect. Men need respect, you know. And for me, if I'm given a choice between being with a sister, let's say of the same age, who talks to me like undang, talks to me nje like she's talking to her equal colleague nje, hey, njabule, hey, speaks to me like that, versus a younger girl who speaks to me with a lot of respect. When I speak, they tend to listen a bit more. I'd obviously, you know, from maybe an ego point, from maybe just a point of respect, maybe how we grew up in terms of the African culture, I'd definitely be more attracted to her. 100%. So now I'm given a situation where there's a 25-year-old who speaks to me with respect, who, you know, is uzotile, she's humble, and then physically her body tends to look a certain way. Obviously, I'm going to be more attracted to that person versus someone who's 10, 15 years older than her, whose body may not be as physically attractive because of age, you know, who might speak to me like we peers. You know, I also want to be made to feel important. And I think a lot of these married men who, after a while in their relationships, get treated as J. You know, I'm not saying all, I'm saying some who get treated as J. Hey, wena, hey. Then they might find younger girls attractive. Again, 18 and 19 to me just seems very pedophilia. It seems as if J, you know. However, I understand a lot of older men being with younger girls, not just because they're easily manipulated, not just because they're naive, but because the younger girls tend to be more respectful, because the younger girls physically tend to, in comparison to. So it's things like this that just make me think and make me realize why, as a community, we need to actually have these conversations. Yes, initially when you read it, you might be annoyed at her, and you might be annoyed at all these married men who are obviously cheating and, you know, breaking up a family structure. Yes, you might get annoyed with that. But once you've gone through the frustrations, I think we need to sit down and say, what can we take from these type of things? Because she's just voicing something that is happening already. We know 100 married men who are doing things with younger girls. We know 100 younger girls who are doing things with older guys. We know it all the time. It's happening all the time. But let's talk about it, and let's talk about why it is happening, and hopefully we can fix it. Because now, who's watching this, Sissy, you wouldn't want your husband also cheating on you with a younger guy. We don't want that. Now, Eputi, you don't want to get into a marriage where the next thing you're just chasing little girls. That's disgusting on either end. So guys, ngempela, we need to have these conversations. I would get very angry if some racist said something, a racial quote, black people don't want to. I'd be very angry. After I'm done smacking him in the face, I want to say, is there truth in what he's saying? You know, maybe he's dropping some nuggets where I can learn to be a better person. You know, yes, it might have been wrapped in ignorance, wrapped in racism, wrapped in dumbness, but there might be a lot of truth that I can learn and gain from that. So guys, let's have these conversations. Please make sure that you comment down below, you like, you share. Please share these videos. This does, it does wonders for the channel. So share the videos. Ngiyantanda, guys. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Tell me what you think about the accessory on my nose. Tupac, yeah, Thug Life. Anyway, sharp, guys.